Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. We have a bit of a treat for you today. One of the members has actually sent in a replay featuring the new Gonsalo. This is the Tier 8 British Premium Heavy Tank. It's got the 120mm gun instead of the 152, but other than that, it's basically the same as a Caliban. It's brand new and everyone's playing it. Let's have a look and see what he does. Well, as you may know, this has got an auto loader. It takes a little while for it to load the shell, but it's capable of 440 alpha with a 120mm gun, and it's supposed to have a, well, not a fairly low velocity shell, but it's 924 meters per second. You can see it's got a fume extractor on the barrel to actually extract the fumes. It's a three-man crew. The commander is also the gunner. And it's also got a loader who actually is the radio operator and a driver who's nothing but the driver. Okay, enemies in sight. Now let's see what he can do. He spotted a VK off in the distance, but that guy pulls back. Oh, now what have we got over here? It's the 703 version 2. He pumps one round in and pulls back. Now the reload time is fairly good. It's 11.82 seconds. It was supposed to have a two-shot magazine, but I think it's operating a single shot here. Pumps another one into the KV3. The standard reload is 14.38 seconds. He's managed to get it down to 11.82 already. And look at that shell. It's very good penetration, 214mm with the AP, and it uses HESH rounds to get through the tank. So it's a high explosive squash head, and look at that, pumping around into a Leo, but the Leo got one back on us, unfortunately. The Leo's the 90mm. Oh, VK. Yep. And yeah, we're getting messages to fall back from the AMX CDA 105 behind us. I think he doesn't want us to take too much damage. But in fact, actually, it's hoti89 who's actually dealing out the damage to the enemy. He's really pummeling these guys. Oh, that VK doesn't want what was coming, and he pulled back in. Now, he got another hit there, but this time round he got ammo-racked by the Leo and that 90mm gun, and that slowed him down a little, but he's burnt his repair kit to get it back in. Now, he lost his viewport there as well, which will make him short-range viewing, and he won't be able to take out the BK from now on, because of course it'll be very difficult to spot him if he does spot him. Oh, and you can see the armor's quite good. In fact, this is one of the tanks that uses liquid armor, and he take out the Leo, so he got revenge on that guy. Now, these guys are angling to try and come through that pass. They're looking like they're setting it up. Now, he was able to see the VK at distance, and the VK wasn't able to penetrate him. That's the 3002D with the 88mm gun, that one. Yep, missed us. So every time that VK fires, that's an 88mm round coming at us, 220. And yep, I think it's getting very tight here. Oh, lovely lower plate there on the 703 too. He didn't expect that. Very good play by Hoti. Got the shot in, pulled back before any reply could come. He's trying to tempt the guy to fire so he can take an easy shot, but he didn't want to play ball there. In fact, he's pulled back a bit. In fact, now the enemy doesn't really want to come through the pass. The Renegade's getting in position for a nice shot. Oh, yes, he did get it. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that hurt. But we've still got just over a third of our hit points left, so we can still trade to a certain extent. And he's up to 4,000 hit points now. Oh, no, that one blocked. Okay. He's really working this position. Even with an 11-second reload, he's still, well, 12-second reload, he's still working this position as hard as he can, stopping those guys from coming through. Now that, I think, hit the tracks, that one, so that's why it didn't go through. But look at that. The enemy KB3 just died. The CDA got him. That's why he wanted us to pull back so he can get easy shots. We're still tempting that 7032 to fire, but the Renegade is now alongside him. The Renegade's a one-shot. And oh, Renegade's... No, it's not the Renegade who went. It was the VK3002D. He came too far, too close, and the CDA got the kill. I think we get the spotting of that one. And he's popping out every now and then to see if he goes. Yes! He got the Cupola. The Renegade is no more. That Cupola sticks out like a sore thumb, makes it a beautiful target for Hoti. Okay, now he's looking to see what else he can do. Now that ricocheted off the 7032's Cupola, but he's trying to get the Cupola now. We're 4 up on the enemy. They've got the town. In fact, now we're pushing. So I'm not sure he's going to actually try to push through the pass. Oh, another good shot into the turret this time. Yeah, keep it up, but just be careful you don't get hit by that 122mm. That's it. Lovely one, right on it, but oh, we did get hit by the 122, and now we're a one shot for the enemy. But he did get that shot in, and now the 7032's had to pull back because he is a one shot as well. But we've got to be careful this Pershing. He's just fired. And he's out the game. And now the CDA can move up, and he's got plenty of hit points compared to us. He's had his shots, but he failed. Now, can we get the 703? Oh, we did get a hit, but not enough. But he's a one shot, and we'll get him in the next round. Very well played. We just spotted a P-43 Pantera. Unfortunately, the CDA just met his demise. And yeah, Hoti did his best. But the Pantera, when he came into sight, I thought, uh-oh, auto reloader. Well, we're 3 up on the enemy, and now the rest of our team can push in on the other side, the Lake Road, and coming in from the town. And I don't think there's much the enemy can do because they can't push through the valley. We've got a Jagdpanther in place there to stop anyone coming through. And with these guys coming in virtually full health, well, some of them are full health, the E25's full health, and the Progetto's about to get round the corner. Okay, he's just positioning himself nicely next to the rock so he can get a shot off if the enemy pops around. It's the Pantera we've got to watch out for. Got an SU-100 M1. There he is. He's full health. He can afford to take some damage. And the Progetto should go in behind him, using him for cover, and then blast away at that Pantera, who's been hitting our E25 in the meanwhile. The Pantera is in a position now. He's getting hit. Now go in behind him. Get in behind him. That's it. Use him for armor. He can take it. He's got plenty of hit points left. You can just trade his hit points. Nice one. Now, kill shot. Yes! And that wins the game. Well played, Hoti. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for hoti89 in the Gonsalo. Pretty good considering he's only had the vehicle a short time and he's already got an ace tanker and 5k damage. He managed to get a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than hit points for his own vehicle, and during that game he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage overall, which is very good considering it's not a 2-shot autoloader, it's actually a single shot. My mistake on that. I thought it was an autoloader. Everything in the literature said that it was an autoloader, but it's actually a magazine fed with a 3-man crew. We can see on the team scores that he did get the highest damage in the game, 5,357 hit points. The next highest player to him was the Progetto with 2,824, followed by the enemy SU-101 with 2,641. When it came to kills, it was actually shared between the Progetto, the Schwarzpanzer, Hoti and his Gonsalo, and also the Progetto 46 on the enemy team and their Pantera. Yeah, the Pantera got 2 kills actually, CDA and Hoti during that brief encounter. And when it came to base XP, It's Gonzalo. Yes, it's Hoti. He managed to get 1,598. He was playing very, very well indeed. He was playing peekaboo with the enemy tanks and taking on several heavies all at the same time. 1,130 went to the Schwarzpanzer and 1,035 to the Progetto 46. So those are the three guys who managed to get over 1,000 base, but it was obviously hoti89 who was leading the battle because he had just short of 1,600 base out of that game. He fired 21 rounds in that game, got 17 direct hits on the enemy and 11 penetrations. He got 5 splash damages as well, 5,357 hit points of damage, all of it done at close range. 17 hits received from the enemy, but only 5 of them actually penetrated, and it was the ones from the right at the very end from that Pantera that finished him off. But I mean, it was the other tanks that had done the most of the damage in between. The 122 got around on him, the Renegade got around into him, but of course they were doing the big damage, but it's the Pantera who just got that niggling little shot right at the end to finish him off. 12 non-penetrations though. It shows that the armor is very well angled and able to deflect the shots. 3,960 hit points of damage blocked by armor, 6 enemy vehicles spotted, 6 enemy vehicles damaged and 3 killed, 239 hit points of damage assistance. He earned 98,652 credits from the game, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, consumables, and I think, yes, he did fire some Hesh rounds during that battle, only for the pen, and got 80,673 credits profit. 1,598 XP, 240 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 2,637 experience points altogether. Let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this one. It is basically just a Caliban with a different gun. That's also basically, it's the same armor layout. You can see it's got frontal armor of 130 millimeters. It was designed to have very heavy frontal armor, but to be very good in a hold down position. And you can see that it's getting effectively between 200 millimeters of armor from 130 impacted, and the lower plate is getting 176 from 130. It's a little less angled there. The upper plate is much the best. You can see the driver's actually on the left-hand side. What you can also see is there's massive armor around this turret. It is basically an oscillating gun, I believe, actually, if I'm correct. And consequently, the armor here can be very, very tough indeed. And it's 250 millimeters, so 25 centimeters. But as it gets angled round, you can see it diminishes. So they've kind of cut the weight by thinning the armor as it goes round. But of course, as it goes round, the effective armor goes up anyway, because of course the round is more likely going to bounce the shell off or ricochet off because it's so well angled at that point. But the angling actually gives you a more effective armor. This upper plate here is 145 millimeters, but it's giving you close to 230. And so it does have a weak cupola there. That's the one thing you can say. 65 millimeters, actually giving you effective 76 to 80. So that's the weak spot that most people will be going for. And unfortunately, in that battle, Hoti was actually showing his weak spot every time he went out, and they were going for it to try and take it. And I think some of the hits that did get him actually hit that, or they hit the front of this vehicle. But of course, he was trying to angle it as well. And when you've got it angled, that does improve the armor to some extent, but it does expose these weak side spots. And of course, this is what you really don't want to expose, because that's only 35 millimeter stick. And if the enemy can get that, they will go through. So you want to have it slightly angled, only just a little bit. If they hit this angle here, it's going to ricochet off more than likely. But with a slight amount of angling, you'll improve this armor here. I think he was ducking out sideways and shooting in that direction as he was doing it. But of course, you want to try and hide those cheeks if you can, as I said, to avoid getting the easy spot to the enemy. Sides of the turret, thin, 80 millimeters. Sides of the vehicle, 35 millimeters, all the way down the side. And the engine deck is only 20 millimeters, and the top of the turret is 30 millimeters. So it's dead easy to pen the rear. If you're an Arty player, you're aiming for the top of the turret or the top of the engine deck, and you should be able to pen that, no problem at all. The sides of the vehicle does have spaced armor over the actual tracks itself, so that would actually help you, because it's 5mm of spaced armor, then you've got 25mm, then another 35mm from the actual hull, so that kind of brings the effective armor up a little bit, but it's still very, very weak. Now, if I bring this around, that's it, do that, that's better. Now, if I take it to the live model, and you can see, depending on the angling, if you're in a hull down position using your gun depression of 12 degrees of gun depression, you can see that this thing is very difficult to pen because the upper plate is very, very thick. It's incredibly thick. You're looking at potentially 26 centimeters of armor. So from a hull down position, this is very good. Just don't show your lower plate because that's a weak spot. But you can see the turret is incredibly tough. Very, very tough. So you're presenting not a lot to the enemy except for that cupola. That's the only weak spot that you really don't want to show to the enemy. And you certainly don't want to turn your turret sideways, because if you do, then you are exposing a weak spot which can be penetrated fairly easy. So try and keep your base to the enemy with this thing, and then they'll find it very difficult to get the shell through. Let's have a quick look at the modules. And there aren't any. Yes, I'm sorry, but Wargaming have not given us a module map for either the Gonsalo or the Caliban, so we can't use either. What we can say is that the tank commander is definitely on the left-hand side of the vehicle, and he's also the gunner, so that's why he's there, and he's got big viewports. The driver's down below, he's only doing the driving, and that means that the person on the right-hand side of the tank happens to be the loader, and he's also the radio operator. And that means that the automatic mechanism must be in the rear of the tank here. And then on the back, we've got this raised piece here, which you can see, which I'm not sure if I can actually show the... No, wait for a sec, actually. We'll just show the engine area. The engine area here with this raised piece, which is raised to allow the turret to go up and down when it's actually aiming. It'll be an engine with... I believe there's a fuel tank in the front of the vehicle, actually, as using fuel or fuel tank as a spaced armor. And the engine is at the back. I believe it's rear wheel transmission. If I can get the gun to turn around. Yes, you can see it's basically an oscillating turret, fixed gun, mounted with an oscillating turret. You can have fewer crew, more space, and you've got the space for an autoloader mechanism. So all they have to do is feed the shells into the hopper, and that's what gives you the fast, well, semi-fast reload. But then again, it is a 120mm gun, and with HESH rounds, that is going to be fairly good. I think I didn't I mention the HESH round? I'm not sure if I did, but we'll go back onto the stats and let's have a look. We've got the AP. Let's have a look at the HESH. HESH, we can see 530 alpha, but 209mm of pen. So you've got more pen with the AP shells, but less damage. The HESH round's going to do more damage, and you've also got 530 for the HE rounds, but only 60mm of pen. So you're not less likely to actually pen an enemy heavy. You will more than likely pen a heavy with that and do a lot of damage. So it's worth it for the HESH, but you'll do quite well with normal armor piercing anyway. So there you go. That's all the stats for the Gonsalo. I hope you enjoyed that replay. It was certainly fun to see the Gonsalo in action. So you get an idea of what it's about. It is a premium. I'm not sure if it's on sale or if it's actually being given as a reward tank. You'll need to tell me that, because I haven't been onto the to the screen for a little while, so I don't know if it's being offered as a reward. I can just check the data. All I do know is it's a tank from 1962, because it was considered. And it got the name Gonsalo because it was a very difficult tank to work on, and it was supposed to have a rate of fire of 4 rounds a minute, with the ability to do about 1,760 hit points in a minute. So quite a decent DPM. What else is there? Anything that I can see? No, I think that's about it for the moment. Yep, so that's all I've got at the moment. I can't tell you if it is on sale. If it is, I probably won't be buying it myself, but I will enjoy watching the replays of people taking it out for a bit of fun. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.